Hey guys, I'm just tapping in to the collective energies of the Divine Feminines. I am experiencing some big stuff right now that I want to work through, but I want to work through it with you guys. So I'm just sitting down, it's like literally 1 a.m. And I'm just voice memoing this because I don't know, I feel like this is just what is needed right now. So a little bit about what is coming up for me is this crippling fear that my divine masculine will cheat on me, or has been. And this is a very confronting and tricky wound, because this is wounding that's coming up. It's not solidified in any sort of proof in my 3D reality. And I'm sharing this because I feel like there might be some other feminines that are dealing with this right now. This is fundamentally at its core, this is an issue with trust. Also trauma, okay. I think this for me ties into my dad's infidelity. There's no excuse for it, but it wasn't done in a distasteful way. He just fell in love with somebody else. He wasn't looking for it. Just happened. Typically how twin flames sometimes begin. One or both are sometimes married. That whole situation. But I'm not here to talk about that. But I think this is something I'm fairly certain that my father and his wife, my stepmom, are twins. And I think this is wounding from that, being the child of karmic partners. It's actually an interesting insight. So I think within me, there's trauma there that needs to be released. This happened to me when I was 10, and I'm now 25, so 15 years ago. And I'm sharing this because this could be the same similar situation for you guys. So I just wanted to sort of tap in and, my main goal with this was to really transmute what it is that I am feeling and experiencing, because I've been seeing a lot of signs and a lot of synchronicities, readers talking about things that are very relevant to my journey with my divine masculine, but also within those messages are quite triggering things where I'm like, this doesn't apply to me, but it's still triggering nonetheless. Like it invokes a deep fear within me. It really triggers my wounding. And it puts me in a state of not knowing what is real and what isn't. And not in a psychosis sense, but more in what is intuition and what is fear. So I'm asking the question, and I've already pulled some cards before I decided to stop and then continue pulling. But before I could ask a question, I pulled 4 cards, and I pulled the Empress, the Ace of Pentacles, the Sun, and the 4 of Pentacles. So the Empress talks about, in this context, I always see the Empress as the divine feminine. So I feel like this is really speaking to me as a divine feminine, and to any other divine feminines who might be resonating with this message or feel called to this message. Essentially, this is an opportunity here. It's really interesting because we've got all great cards here, really beautiful, positive cards. So, it's not indicating anything catastrophic or, scary. And part of me feels a little bit delusional for thinking so, but I feel like what this is saying is this is really an opportunity for us to go deeper into our connection with our divine masculine, to tap in and to go deeper than we've ever gone before. I feel like a lot of us who are resonating with this message or feel called to this message, we are being activated. I know that word is sort of a buzzword in this community, but I truly mean I feel we are being activated to go deeper than we've ever gone before. Just imagine yourself. You've been in this place of love and unconditional love for your divine masculine. Some of you are partnered with them, some of you aren't, and that's okay, it doesn't matter, it's the same lesson, right? And imagine the deepest relationships that you've ever been in. Obviously, this is the deepest, but if you were to really look, and this is if you're resonating with this message, if you were to really look at the way that your connection has been and how deep it has been, it hasn't gone any deeper than you have been before. You know this is deeper than anything. You know this is calling you deeper. You know this is more real and more intense and, you know, the whole shebang of what a twin flame is and what a twin flame connection is. But the dynamic between the two of you guys haven't gone deeper than you have been with anybody else in the past. And this is that moment. This is that turning point. Things are turning right now. Things are calling us deeper, to connect deeper, to expand within ourselves, to evolve. And with the Four of Pentacles, we are really, really apprehensive to do so because, one, we've never done this before. Two, we don't really know how. Three, wounding and trauma is keeping us in a state of automatically being closed off to going deeper. We are on a journey, those of you who are resonating with this message, we are on a journey to experience the deepest form of love, or I'm getting emotional, the deepest form of love with another person that our human body can take, can experience. And for a lot of us, this is taking us back to the beginning. What's at the beginning? Childhood. The last time that you felt unconditional, unrelenting love was in our childhood. And for a lot of us with childhood trauma, around 6 to 10 years old, things started to change, things shifted, things happened. It's when the trauma began to develop. But we have experienced that kind of love before with our parents. And yes, this is different because this is romantic, but love is love is love. So the type of relationship is just a way in which that love is expressed, and it's obviously expressed in a different way. But fundamentally, at its core, that love and the ferocity, the fierceness, the purity of it, we haven't experienced love like that since childhood, since birth for a lot of us. And our twin is here to bring us back to that. And we're here to have that with our twin, or to experience that with our twin. It's part of our human experience in this incarnation. So I asked what this fear, and a lot of us, what is stopping us from going deeper is whatever fear is coming up. So as I mentioned before, for me, it's that, and I'm just being completely honest here, and I feel like I need to, because I'm being guided to, and I have a feeling that there are many others of you who actually have this fear too. And the fear of being cheated on, or the fear of, being completely open and vulnerable and having that fear come true. It's one of the deepest wounds, and for a lot of us, it can go back lifetimes. For a lot of us too, it's also generational. I'm getting generational. So whatever, it's very prevalent, and this is what is to be overcome. It's what's stopping us, or what's sort of standing in the way from going deeper, or from accessing that pure, unconditional love for ourselves and for our twin. So I asked what the fear is showing me, is showing us, and I got the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Cups. So what I took from this was that it's showing us that this is a brand new cycle that we are navigating right now, or whenever this is coming up for you, into a deeper love, into new territory is really what I'm getting at. New territory that we haven't experienced before. So, as I said, this really is an opportunity, but it might not feel like it because it is plagued with so much fear and wounding. But the fear and wounding is absolutely serving its purpose. It has its place here because it's there and it exists because of our circumstances that we have been through in our lives. And we have to transmute it. We have to transmute this. And then I began to ask, what is this fear disguising? What is it covering up? And I pulled the Two of fucking Cups. This fear is disguising. This fear is trying to protect the connection in not a heroic way. It's a fear-based way. So this fear is disguising the depth of this connection, the depth of the love that you feel for your twin, the love that you know is there, but you can't seem to access, and both of you can't seem to access it because of things that have happened in the past. I'm getting really emotional as I'm saying this, so I'm just going to let it. I'm just letting it be. So this fear is disguising the deep ferociousness, the deep fierceness, the intensity of the love that you and your counterpart share. And why is it through the lens of your counterpart? Because you guys are the same frequency, experiencing each other in the 3D. And you both share this wound, but it might show up in different ways. So for me, it's this fear of, or this wounding of infidelity. I think to me that would be the ultimate betrayal. And for my masculine, it's being let down by the person that you love the most. And this is a father wound. We both share this wound with our fathers. I'm going to pull another card for what the fear is disguising. We've got the Two of Cups. What else is there, please? It's too many. What else is the fear disguising? Or tell me more about the Two of Cups being disguised by this fear. Ten of Wands. Yeah, that's very much there's a song coming to my mind right now. All for Love by Zendaya and Labyrinth. Wish I knew the lyrics right now. I think it goes something like, just look up the lyrics. I'll pop it in the Twin Flame Divine Counterpart Spotify playlist that I have linked in the description of this video, so go and check that out if you're interested. But it's like doing all the work as well, putting in all the effort for it to not work out or to be let down. But it's also disguising, I'm getting from this, the carrying all of that trauma. It's disguising the burdens. This fear is disguising the burdens, and it's disguising, more like it's hiding. Disguising, hiding. It's hiding the burdens of the trauma of the past, the weight that we've had to carry, and it's also disguising the depth of the love that you feel for each other. So now I want to ask, what purpose does this fear have for us counterparts beyond what we've already discovered? So like, what does this fear think it's doing? Obviously it thinks it's protecting, but what does it think it's doing for this connection? Yeah, Five of Swords, protecting us from being taken advantage of, from being hurt. Yeah, Five of Swords. It thinks it's protecting us from losing. It thinks it's protecting us from losing. And the Queen of Cups. I'm really taking my time with this reading, guys, because I know how heavy this energy is. I know how important this reading is going to be for some. Thinks it's protecting us from being taken advantage of and from losing. And from something to do with innocence. The Queen of Cups energy. I know like Six of Cups would be saying innocence, but almost the purity and the innocent nature of the feelings. Clarify the Queen of Cups, please. Yeah, Ten of Swords. The innocence of our feelings and of our because our pain, because we had our innocence, we had that pure, it's like almost naive, that naivety, trying to protect us from losing. and protect us, stop us from being naive, because there's a part of us that perceives ourselves as being naive in the past. Well, we were children when this wounding first happened, when this Ten of Swords, when this betrayal first happened. A lot of us are carrying the betrayal of like our parents too. Like, I think somehow I am also carrying the betrayal of, like, my mother's betrayal. I think somehow she's given it to me. And the responsibility I then took, or the responsibility that was forced upon me to step in for my dad, or to heal my mum's betrayal wound, to heal my mum's wounding from my dad moving on and finding somebody new. And on my divine masculine side, I can absolutely see how the energy of my divine masculine's father, he let them both down, for his own reasons, his own stuff, his own trauma. He's a lost soul. And they both had to move on without him, but I think subconsciously there was a lot of pressure put on my divine masculine to meet his mother's needs as I was to meet my mother's needs. Can you see how this is all linked? So yeah, our innocence being taken away, our childhood being taken away, our ability to love unconditionally and purely and wholly and completely had been taken away due to this betrayal. Somebody else's betrayal. And this, the fear thinks that it is protecting us from losing again, quote unquote, again. It thinks it is protecting us from being naive and being taken advantage of. So the last question I want to ask is, how do we transmute this now and open up? And I feel like the first step is understanding, and I feel like we've deconstructed a lot of that through this reading. Like, I have so much clarity, so much more clarity than I did before. The fear is no longer there. It's sort of silenced, but almost like I've reasoned with it. So what can we do to transmute this fear and remove its blockage from going deeper into our twin flame connection as we are meant to? The Page of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, the Three of Cups. Okay. So as on the bottom of the deck, we also have the Eight of Cups and the Moon. So this is telling me that, like, as we begin to unravel more of what has been hidden and what has been kept in the dark, right? As I said, reasoning with the fear, understanding it, questioning it. Why are you there? What is your purpose? What are you trying to protect me from? What do you think you're doing here? Getting curious. With the Page of Swords, I always say that as getting curious, asking questions, right? The first step is to ask the questions, get some answers, seek the answers. There's also a willingness to forgive. I don't know who specifically, whoever you need to. If you know that there are people that you need to forgive in order to move forward, know that that is a work in progress, and that uncovering, and after getting curious about this and having this understanding and this information, you may have to grieve. The Seven of Pentacles. Know that this is a work in progress, and it's not going to be something that you can just transmute like that. This is something that has to be worked on. So refer back to this reading, this video, if it helps. It might help you in a spiral where your head is going and the fear is taking over and you can't think straight, and you can't, just know that with time as well, you will understand more about this fear. And the more you understand about the fear, the more you can sort of see through it. And what you will see is that Two of Cups, Ten of Wands, is that deep, pure, immovable love that you are moving towards and working towards. This new cycle of love. Just think, how cool is it that, this is a new discovery that I've made tonight, but how cool is it that we get to realize that we haven't gone as deep as we can go with our divine masculine or our divine feminine. The way in which we have been with them or connecting with them is as deep as we have been with other people. We've only just touched the surface. And what is next is we are being called to go deeper, and in order to do that, we need to understand the fear that is in the way. We need to look at it, we need to get curious, we need to ask questions. And only then can we begin to get those answers and get clearer. Know that this is a work in progress, but you will see results. And you also need to be willing, with the Two of Swords and the Three of Cups, you need to be willing to see that reunion is possible, that healing, love, forgiveness, joy is possible, that you can have this Three of Cups with your person, with your divine masculine. I'm still not entirely clear on how to go deeper. Maybe I should ask that quickly. Thank you, Spirit. How do we go deeper? How do we continue to choose to go deeper every single day? What is it that we do? How do we go deeper into this Two of Cups and away from this Ten of Wands? Five of Pentacles. So that's that fear of abandonment showing up. I think as well, getting to a place where you're not afraid. You're not afraid to struggle. You're not afraid to be out in the snowstorm. But there's two people here, a divine masculine and a divine feminine, on the traditional Rider-Waite Five of Pentacles card. Be willing to go to great lengths to heal this abandonment wound, and know that you'd be doing it together. Sure, you guys would be tackling separate wounds, separate details, but you would still be doing it together. It's still an abandonment wound. Even though me and my divine masculine both weren't actively, directly abandoned by our fathers, it is still a wound that we have due to what happened, the way it went down. Two things can be true at once. We can have an abandonment wound and feel abandoned, even though we weren't, technically, if that makes sense. So be willing to, not be willing to suffer, but Be willing to struggle from time to time. Come to terms with that. It's not the worst thing in the world. And when you do struggle, when you do feel abandoned, that is work in progress. Every time you get triggered, that is work that is being, you are progressing. Because every time you notice that you are triggered, every time that you're aware you're triggered, every time you question that trigger, every time you get curious about that trigger, that is work in progress. And just know that we will be able to get to that unbridled two of cups, that deeper, four of wands just popped out, that deeper connection. We will be able to get to that place. We will find ourselves deeper than we have ever been before with anybody. And certainly deeper than we have been with our divine masculine. I'm going to finish off this reading with some lyrics in a song. It's an interlude from an Elena Baraz, her last album. I'll pop the song in the Divine Counterpart playlist, which again is linked in my description box. But it's like a little quote that she sings as part of the interlude, and it says, "I can only meet you as deep as you have met yourself." I can only meet my divine masculine as deep as I have met myself. My divine masculine can only meet me as deep as they have met themselves. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that this helped. It certainly has helped me. I can now go to bed. Please give this video a like. Let me know down below if it did resonate with you. And please subscribe. I would absolutely love to get to know you guys. And if you guys would like a reading with me, I am having a sale on my 60-minute one-to-one video call readings. The link for that is also in the description box. Bye guys.